Alright, let's go into this Clash of Clans Q&A. Bite-sized version, so because it just means it's small. What should clans be working towards after level 10? Well, honestly, I think they should all just screw themselves. If they get past level 10, they just restart at level 1. And if you don't want to restart at level 1, then just let the other teams win. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. Base, and why wasn't it just added to the main village? It says here that Builder Base was designed to try out player suggestions. Well, if you're doing that to try out player suggestions, it's still a competitive base. So honestly, that just seems like a load of bull because you can't just majorly change something like that, which would also apply to our Clash of Clans villages themselves. Because if you try to change all that, then you're gonna screw up a whole system. You know, we spent 5 years trying to learn how to do different raids, like data mining. You're gonna ruin so much more that everybody's worked so hard to discover, and all these YouTube videos are just gonna be really out of place, and yeah, that's just not gonna go well. Team's vision of Clash Endgame. Well, from what we understand of Clash of Clans is going to be endless. It is, I don't know if it's still the top, but it's been the top for so many years, the top game. And they get the most money from all the players in the world. There's no way that they're going to end the game. And if they try to end the game and put all that together, it's just going to be a sloppy mess in the end. Like any movie you've ever seen where they just try to end it, it's gonna be just like that, and it's just gonna suck. What did you mean when you said gut feeling affected matchmaking? Judgments on what feels good. I mean, let's be honest. After Town Hall 9, 10 and 11, their defenses with the Inferno Tower and the Eagle Artillery, they're just so vastly different and really powerful that it's not really fair to be matchmaked upwards. At that point, I feel like they should just work on, matchmaking your town hall level and below when you're rating somebody else. As long as they don't entail, the builder base where you match with somebody else. If they did that, it'd be really important not to be matched upwards because that's not fair for our troops, which get cock blocked at a certain level or in town hall level. That's not fair at all. So their gut feeling should have been, after Town Hall 9, we should slim it. Why can't we use heroes while they are upgrading? This dude does not answer that question. This is a pretty direct question why we can't. This dude's just talking about, oh, well, we're going to reduce the upgrade times. Yeah, well, that's not going to help us out any, and that's going to really screw up players who spent money, gems that they've earned from these miniature quests or whatever. And yeah, that's not fair for them. He just doesn't answer the question. And honestly, you're not really upgrading the heroes themselves. You're upgrading the equipment they have. So, I mean, is anyone there? Why don't devs share what they're working on to get players' feedback? This dude pretty much just answers the question. It'd be impractical. Shit changes all the time. They're probably working on way more than we could even comprehend. Half of it is probably just getting put in another file and held up to some other day when they discover it again. Probably never find it. Why can't we have more name changes? Alright, this is bullcrap. Against reputation building? Not really. I mean, maybe on YouTube, sure, but in the game, no. That doesn't make sense. There's so many games that allow you to change their name as often as you want, and it does not affect the gameplay whatsoever. Everybody knows them. They just, yeah. We always look to how small changes might affect overall gameplay. This is just not going to affect the gameplay. But what would be good is if is if we could actually be thrown into our friends chat if we selected to do so, because we have a social thing, but we can't actually socialize with them outside of our clans. Even though all the servers are random and we're thrown in randomly, having that ability would actually help our reputation more than some name changes. What is this team working on next? He says it starts with the letter Q. I'm hoping that it's quests, and not that they're gonna build a literal queue, or they're gonna ask more questions or something like that. You can't really say the letter Q. You have to say like start with the letter Q. I mean that just doesn't make any sense. But I'm gonna have to say it has to do with quests, because we have achievements, and almost every game we know has quests. So why not?